We're here at the Pinball Company warehouse in Chesterfield. We have a Funhouse here in the box, a limited edition. We've been getting these in on shipping containers, and we have a local customer that actually wants us to open theirs up and just make sure it's okay before they get it. So this is a good opportunity to show you what it's like fresh out of the box. When you get a Funhouse Remake, CE or LE, you get a goodie box with it. So let's open that up and see what you get. This has a magnetic flap on it. So you have your limited edition certificate with the wax seal on it. You have your checklist of what's included. Playfield quality check. Wow, that's a lot of steps. Final test and quality check. Oh, they ran through all the coil tests, the connectors, gameplay.
And then that's also signed by the person that inspected it.
Yes,
right?
so if we have an issue, we tell Pedretti and they're like, well, who signed it?
No one can hide.
I can see why the quality has improved like as they've really ramped up production on these, because they've increased the amount of things that they're checking. So that explains why we haven't been getting very many phone calls, which is a good thing. What else do we have? The manual, which is actually really nice for this game. It's kind of a combination of stuff from the original Funhouse, stuff from the remake, and then stuff for the fast boards. But it's nicely put together. So with full color pictures, shows you how to do all the menus.
It's like a spiral notebook too, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. What is underneath this part?
Ooh, ta-da! I like the way they show this off with all the, they even have places for the balls, a perfectly shaped spot for each bolt. You get your power cord. A lot of people ask why there's a remote. It's just for like brightness and stuff on the LCD, which we've never had to change, so just keep that in your box. Your instruction and free play card, extra flipper rubbers, synthetic, balls, an extra scoop protector because it's optional. Some people don't like that a scoop protector may cause the shot to reject some, so we made it optional.
And where does that go? I guess
I believe
just
it's the
like
right
which scoop? The right scoop?
And an adorable teeny tiny tilt bob. Yes,
What?
It works like a normal one.
Let me get that in focus here. Oh, I see it.
Yeah.
That is a teeny tiny tilt bob.
And importantly, why I'm opening this right now is I need the leg levelers to put my legs on. And these are the head bolts.
So I guess all pinball machines pretty much need that.
Yeah.
Leg levelers?
If you buy a Stern game, they're already on the legs, but for this, you put them on yourself.
Gotcha.
And then your leg bolts are right in here.
Perfect. So what's in this black box?
Ooh,
That's what I
I'm
really
very
want to know.
excited for this. This is a new thing.
This is for LE?
This is for LE buyers only. So you got this nice black box. It slides out like this. Leather with gold lettering and stitching on it.
Well, that was dramatic. What we got here?
It's a Funhouse gold-plated pocket watch.
Oh, that's like, that's a legit pocket watch,
with the
isn't it?
Funhouse logo on it. And
Let me see that logo. Can we see it?
it has plastic on it. I'm not going to take that off because this is for a customer. But watch this.
Wait, I wasn't even ready for that.
I wasn't either.
What?
I'll try again.
All right, let's do it again. We're ready. You can even see me.
Ta-da!
Fantastic.
It's the clock from the playfield, and it's like the design that's on the actual playfield as well.
So see, when you're at shows, you can just wear your pocket watch like a boss.
Yes.
You just walk around with it,
You
right?
can be like, this is my Funhouse watch. And people will be jealous. All right, we got it up on legs. The back box is latched. And this is what it looks like. So you have protection film on your sparkly blue trim. I'm OCD and I wanted to wipe this dust off. Uh-oh, it's on the inside. We'll wipe that again later.
Great job. Try it one more time.
And it's always satisfying, at least to weird people like me, to peel off the film. So we're gonna show that.
Perfect.
Ooh. It's this nice protective foam here so it doesn't make an impression in the rails when it's folded. Initial impressions, it looks really good, especially since this has the invisible glass on it. Everything looks really sharp and clear. So yeah, we're gonna fire it up here pretty soon and see how well it works. I'm just gonna do the original code here because that's how I want to start off. Just see how the game is playing. All right, it's got 3 credits on it. Let's just fire it up. So far, so good.
And you're already off to the races, aren't you?
Yep.
Wow, Carrie, wow.
I was like, not like this.
And ladies and gentlemen, that's how you win world championships right there.
Yep. Let's see how the kick out is. Ooh, it's perfect.
Friendly.
Finally hit the ramp.
Look over there.
Look at that. Perfect kick out of box.
Right back at ya, Sophie.
Did you get your million?
I did, so it was worth it. I like how his eyes light up on the LE.
That
I
is
kind of
true.
wish mine did that when I got the million. If you're wondering, I am short plunging on purpose because I like to get a ball to a flipper. I really want my ball lock right now. There we go. It's 11:45.
Oh, it's that easy, right?
It's probably the best multi-ball opening sequence in any pinball. So that was game 1 fresh out of the box. I wanted to show you and to see for myself what happens if I just plug it in, drop the balls in, turn it on and play it. And got multi-ball, got the jackpot. This game really shouldn't need much in the way of tweaking, but we're gonna show you a few things anyway, just in case.
And what would be one of the reasons why you would check like coil switches and all that?
Especially when I deliver a game to a customer's house, I want to make sure it's good before I leave so that they don't have to call me back out for something minor. So I just go ahead and run through the coil tests, make sure nothing got unplugged in shipping. Lamp test, same deal. All the lamp boards are chained together, so you just want to make sure that they're all working. If they're not, you check the connectors. And then switch test, or you can just play the game and see if there's a credit dot. That's a faster way of doing it. All right, I want to check the coils, just make sure they're all working. The fastest way to do that is just to go into the menu, test, solenoid test. And then you pull your white interlock switch to enable the voltage that you need. And then I'm going to set it to running.
And so when you set it to running, that just makes every single solenoid go off in the game?
Yeah, it'll just automatically cycle through so you don't have to hit up, enter every time.
Perfect. And what would be one of the main reasons why you would want to do something like this?
Especially earlier in the production, there were a couple games that after shipping, a connector came loose and it caused one of the solenoids to not work, which obviously, you know, if you're new to pinball and you're like, oh my gosh, you know, the ball won't kick out, that seems pretty major. Well, it was just a connector that wasn't fully seated, and that's something we can walk you through if that happens to you, or you can just preemptively check them and just make sure they're all seated. One note, while we're in the solenoid test, you might have noticed the out-hole didn't make a noise. That's because this game doesn't have an out-hole solenoid, so don't panic if you see that. That's because the old Funhouse had an out-hole coil.
Ah, well, the more you know.
All right, let's do another quick test. So we're gonna do all lamps. This is a quick way just to see if every single light is working. So we're mainly focused on the insert lights. Basically, you know, something like this, as opposed to general illumination, which would be the lights underneath, like the slings that stick through the playfield.
Ah, so when you hear somebody say GI,
They're talking about general illumination. All right.
I'm learning everything.
Mr.
I'm with
Junior
it.
Tech, why is this light not on?
Pass.
The answer is because it's a flasher, and flashers are in a different test. So here we could do lamp plus flash. All right, and once again, the most fun way to test the switches is to play a few games in a row, and then it will give you a credit dot, which is a little dot next to where it says free play, if there's an error with the switch. And then you can hit enter and the menu will tell you. Or if you want to preemptively check them, you can do switch edges. It's just, there's a whole bunch of them. So I'll give you a few examples. So we're in switch edges. The best way to test them is with an actual ball. And you literally just roll over every switch, or that's a switch, that's a switch. The targets count as switches.
Now I'm curious too, do you think it's just better to use the ball to check switches as
Yes.
opposed to using your hand?
Yes.
And why is that?
Because especially on a rollover, your finger might poke it down further than a ball will. So it might work with your finger, but then it doesn't actually work with the ball.
Gotcha.
And guess what? When you play pinball, you're using your ball. If you do have to test a hole switch like that, like I put it in the hole, it doesn't come out, then you have to get another ball to test the rest with, or you can back out to attract mode and it'll kick it out for you. There it goes. Cool. All right, you don't have to do this part, but since our customer asked us to go ahead and check everything, I'm going to show you how to check connectors. This is something that only if you had an issue on your game, you could ask us about and we could walk you through it. But this is what it looks like. So on Funhouse, you can actually just leave the balls in it. You do want to go ahead and turn the power off. And you can just pull the playfield straight up, like this.
And that playfield just that wasn't much effort at all. And I heard the ball momentarily. Do you even have to take out the balls?
You do not.
Really? So it has
a little flap to catch
Okay.
the balls to prevent them from falling out. So it makes it even easier.
Excellent.
Quick scenario, say you have a group of lights out. All the lights are run through these green boards, and all these connectors need to be seated for them to work. So it's very simple to check them. Even if you're not sure which one to check, you could just quickly go through and press on just about all of them. That's actually the fastest way to do it if you want to, instead of trying to track down exactly which one.
And when you're saying connectors, point to exactly what that would be.
That white plastic piece right there with the wires sticking out of it.
Gotcha.
So see, probably within like 2 minutes I could check all of them. One more thing while we're in here, if you have a coil or solenoid out, it's going to be a connector that looks like this. So just follow the wires from the coil or solenoid. They make these connectors so you can easily replace the coil if needed, which is nice, but you need to make sure that they're seated. So make sure the wires can't easily pull out, and then make sure the connector is clicked all the way together. And that's pretty much it. Just for peace of mind for this customer, I'm gonna take a peek in the back box and just make sure everything looks good. All right, so you can see our lovely fast boards here. Similar to the connectors below, I'm just gonna make sure everything's plugged in. Now, if you don't have any issues, maybe just don't worry about this. You'll also notice I'm grounding myself because these boards, if you scoot across the carpet and get static going, and then you know how you can shock your friend Travis? You could shock the boards. So try not to be messing around if you don't need to. If you do, ground yourself. Actually, this is probably a better ground on this game while you're touching the boards. So notice that didn't even take very long, and everything's seated, so everything's good.
I'm looking at this and I can tell Rudy's head is slightly different than the original. Do you know what has changed?
The main thing is Rudy's head is one piece, and you can just take out 2 Phillips screws and slide the plastic piece off. So if you ever needed to service his head, it's more serviceable.
Oh, perfect. And me as the junior tech, once again.
Yeah, I know how you're tired of taking off 2-piece Rudy heads.
And the other thing I noticed when you were playing, so you got to multi-ball, right? I'm pretty sure you did at least.
I
and
did.
then I saw that right, exactly. I saw that little flap that I guess is like right here in that orbit. I noticed that registered easily, and there was really no issues with that out of box. So I know like previous fun houses.
That flap doesn't register because it's not a switch.
Well, I mean, you know what I mean.
Did you notice
like,
how I never got any air balls on this loop?
Yes, that's what I'm trying to say. You got to let me get there.
Okay, I'm
You-
sorry,
you're reading.
Travis.
You're reading my mind. Though.
I'm trying to read your mind.
Yeah, you're reading my mind.
On the original Funhouse, this trapdoor flap used to get deformed and cause air balls going through the loop, and then Oh, you're right.
Yes.
That could cause it not to register your jackpot.
Exactly. Okay.
Or not register the Switch to open the trap door.
Vindication. Thank you.
Anyway, so our lovely techs, Dan and Nathan in Columbia, have shopped out over 100 Funhouses, which still blows my mind.
Yeah, that's
So they
a lot.
know everything that could go wrong with Funhouse, and they relayed that to Pedretti, and they told them some things they can improve. So one of them was the trap door. There's an extra piece of metal underneath so it doesn't get deformed, so you don't get air balls.
So that's one of the unique things too, I guess, about this particular project compared to other projects that we've been a part of or that we've seen before. It's the fact that there's so many minds behind it that have the experience that have seen pretty much everything.
Yes.
Just over the past couple of
A
decades.
lot of time was spent on it.
Right, and then you could make certain suggestions, certain fixes, and it just, it makes life a lot easier.
As a player, the one that sticks out to me is the lock shot. So on the original Funhouse, if you hit the lock really hard because you're a really good player and you hit it really accurately, it could hit the little mech so hard that it just goes all the way through without registering and it doesn't catch your ball, which is infuriating when you're trying to get multi-ball.
Luckily, I've never had that happen before.
Well, you're the only one.
I'm just kidding. I've had it happen. I was serving you up an easy softball. I'm not a good player. But I know exactly what you're talking about there, because it's like you hit that orbit shot pretty quick or that turnaround shot, and it just flies by the lock that's behind that left ramp.
So Nathan, who's shopped a bunch of these, was like, oh, like it just needs more like spring strength to prevent it from doing that. So he would do that to the ones he shopped out. And so he told Pedretti, like, let's just put another spring on here. And guess what? It actually works. It's really simple but effective. So things like that I really appreciate as a player, so that the game actually plays the way it was intended to be played.
Yeah, no, that helps. And that's, I mean, I guess it's on top of the cosmetic stuff that's been done too.
Yeah.
Like the little LCD right there, that's pretty cool, that I like.
The scoop protector to keep your artwork looking nice.
Yes, that is very nice. And I do like, I know we've said it a lot, but I personally do like this type of artwork.
Yes.
I think because it just captures the perfect creepy, Rudy vibe. And it just, it freaks me out. It always has, even when I was a kid.
I just like the level of detail on it. And I really like the art blades on these are recessed so they don't get scratched, and they actually light up. So it kind of provides a little bit more lighting to your playfield too.
Oh, that's excellent. So when you're saying recessed, you're meaning like it's literally a little bit more in?
Yeah, they routed out the cabinet so that it could sit flush with the cabinet, unlike other art blades and mirror blades where it sticks out a little bit.
Oh, perfect.
And then every time you lift the playfield, you're at risk of scratching it. Well, this, you don't really have that issue.
So you don't have to worry about, oh yeah, I can see the gap now.
Yeah.
Right through here. There is a gap, so when you raise up that playfield, like we saw earlier, that was pretty easy to do. You're not at any risk of
That was
scratching.
one of the top comments we got at Expo. It was something that was just kind of it was subtle in the advertising, but then people saw it and they're like, oh my gosh, why doesn't everybody do that?
Yeah, I was about to say,
that is a good question.
That's a major game changer right there. I didn't even think of that. I've scratched way too many art blades and mirror blades in my day, so.
I like the look of them, but as a tech, I'm like, ugh.
Right? I feel the same way. I feel the same way.
You are always opening up your playfield and servicing it. I'm really happy with how this game came out. It's good for us to see the ones that are coming off the line more recently, because the ones we have in the showroom are from several months ago. But the fact that I could just open this and play it is incredible. And I think the customer's going to be really happy. And finally, this has been driving Dominic nuts the entire time we were filming. There's a little piece of masking tape here.
There we go. It's all done.
Now we're all done.
And the game is good to go. All right, Carrie. Well, thank you. Now we got to actually do some work now.
Oh man.